the mercy of having the situation tell me how I should feel, I was going to let my purpose that I keep like a shining torch out in front shine. I was going to be the bringer of the light. I was going to be the light of the world. Let that purpose radiate to everything and everyone. It actually works. It actually works if you practice it. You know, it worked for me. Must work for you. Must work for everybody because it's a law of God. It's not like special or anything. And it was beautiful how it worked. And it sure helped me when my travels. I'm going to travel to this continent and this place, that place. You've heard some of my funny parables, how sometimes I end up sleeping in a king-size bed with cats, or somebody showing up in the bed. The next night, I'm in a closet. But I'm happy. I'm happy to be sleeping in a closet. I mean, I'm thinking, oh, this is great. Thank you, God. It was actually a nice kind of a walk-in closet, and there's a mattress on the ground and the clothes hanging there and everything. I thought, this is kind of cool. I don't have to be at the Hilton. I don't have to be at, some kind of extravagant place. I'm happy to sleep in a closet. That was definitely a part of that plan, but I had my purpose out front. That's what made that closet so wonderful, because it was the purpose that lights the world up. It's not going to be waiting for expectations to be met by other people or by the world in some way. So to me, Leni, that's like so practical. You're bringing it up, but in the end, the way out of people pleasing for forever is through having the purpose out in front. And also, I think you'll find that when you're relaxed and you're in the joy of your purpose, your function, you're going to see synchronicities. You're going to see things click and fall into place. It's going to be like the world is like a fairy tale, and it's all for your mind when your mind is led by this purpose out front. The world turns into like a happy, not a grim fairy tale, but actually a happy fairy tale where things just click and flow and everything clicks in. I mean, it's actually surreal. I've had experiences, where I was teaching a psychology class years ago in downtown Cincinnati, and I would show movies. It's a 4-hour psychology class, so I could set the movie up, show the movie, do the discussion, and then I would just go, and for $1, I would rent a VHS video. That's back in the day, and I would show the movie. Then I would finish the class. I would go over to the library, and I would drop off the movie that I had shown, and then I'd have to walk a couple blocks to the main route where the bus would come. And then the bus, I would take the bus, and I would take the bus, I don't know, maybe 13 miles or something, go back to the place where I was living. And occasionally I would drop the movie off, and I would look at my watch, and I would get my bus schedule out, and I would look at how many minutes do I have to make it to the street, to the bus stop, so I can catch the next bus and everything. And Jesus is like, would you stop that? Would you stop planning, only looking at bus routes and bus maps and all these things, always planning for the body? He says, I got it. I just want you to be happy. Put that presence, that purpose out front. You just enjoy the sunshine. You walk over to the library to turn in that movie, and don't you give one thought to that bus, and don't give one thought to time, and don't give one thought to anything of this world. Just enjoy the beauty. Look into people's eyes. Enjoy all your brothers and sisters here in downtown Cincinnati on a sunny day. Have some fun. I'm like, okay, I'll have some fun. So I go over, I'm enjoying everything, turn the movie in, clueless. I am absolutely clueless about a bus schedule. And I'm taking my time. I'm strolling along, coming back over to the main street. And then as I'm standing on the street corner, ready to cross to the other side where the bus comes, I'm just smiling and thanking Jesus, saying, what a great life. I feel so happy and free. And I can look as my head turns, I can see the bus coming up, and then the crosswalk turns green, and I walk across, and I walk over, and just when I get to the bus stop, the doors open from the bus. Everything completely orchestrated down to the very moment that that bus arrives, when I didn't plan, when I didn't control, when I didn't have expectations. When I trusted in God for everything, I just got right there in position, and those doors opened, and I hopped in, and you should have seen the smile on my face, like, well, this is as easy as it gets. I mean, I like this not planning. I like this trusting. I like what showing up in my life. And that's the power of going in for the gift and not asking for the echo. It wasn't me at the library going, I'm going to visualize the bus coming at just the right time. It wasn't me praying, Jesus, please help me so I don't miss the bus. That's not it either. You see, there's a bit of lack in that one. It was actually joining in the joy, joining in the gift, and then letting all the outcomes, the overtures, the harmonics, the echoes, let them all, the whole symphony is there for you. Because why? Because it's your mind where the prayer is activated. It's not in a body. It's the whole perception of the world is a correct perception from the ego. Separate people, separate places, separate events, separate situations, separate circumstances. That's all fragmented perception. And when you relax and you realize how worthy you are of happiness and joy, then all the cracked pieces of the world come together into this beautiful tapestry, this holistic thing. And you're not concerned about any of the little specifics anymore. You're just beholding the beautiful tapestry and how everything is working together perfectly for good. That's really what the power of prayer is. And that's what ignites it. When you realize the context is mine, you're not trying to make personal prayers, personal requests. I want personal guidance. You're not trying to become dependent on specifics. You're asking to be released from the obsession with specifics, with the obsession for analytics, with the obsession with data. What's the data stream say? You actually are beholding the dance, beholding the beautiful dance of the forgiven world, the happy dream. And that's why prayer is the greatest gift that God gave in creation, because it's the power in your mind, not in your body, the power in your mind, not in a private mind. The mind, the one mind, is extremely powerful. And when you relax, you start to behold how glorious this unified mind is. So anyway, that's my spiel. I always give a spiel. I give my Holy Spirit, Jesus spiel. And then I like to see, how's it going? Are we of one mind here? Are you hearing what I'm talking about? Is this resonating? Is this feeling helpful, clarifying? That's what I want to join with you on. And to me, this is all, that's why everything is mind. Jesus says all illness is mental illness. He doesn't even put out that there's a possibility of physical illness. He says, no, all illness is mental illness. All decisions are of the mind. The body never has made one decision and never will. So much for personhood, making decisions. It seems that way to the human being, like there's a lot of personal decisions. But in the end, what is the decision of my mind? Am I aligning with my source, or am I trying to block the light and play little, play personal? That's really the question. That's the question. So, Jeff, why don't I'll just ask if anybody has comments, questions, anything, responses, anything to that. That's what we're here for. We're here to join together to be illuminated, to come back to that illuminate mind that we share. And I just throw it open to see if we've got any hands going up or digital hands or anything. And Jeff, take it away.
We have lots of hands, David. First on the list is Miss Teresa. Go ahead, Teresa.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. I put my hand up right away, and as I listened to you, David, I think if I really sit with this, it would help me. And then I got confused again. My landlord said he's going to sell the building, so I'll have to find another place to live. I put out my intention of what criteria I wanted, but then I decided to join. What is my home? My home is in God. It's peace, tranquility, stability, safety. And I really had that joining. And then I just decided to look for places, and the first place I looked for seemed to have all that criteria. But when I went to it, there's mold in the basement, and I've been a person who's very sensitive to that, and within a half hour, my throat's starting to close and my eyes burned all night. And one of my questions is, how do I know what's the answer to the prayer? Because I thought that my intention was a real joining, and then this thing seemed to come along, and now it's a bust. Then I'm angry with myself that I'm a person who is allergic to mold and who thinks I'm a body who can be affected by something like that. But then I wonder, maybe that's Spirit's way of saying, this is not where you are to be, and this is the only way you can hear it. So the purpose of your mold allergy is for you to listen to the fact that this isn't where you're to be. Then another facet of that is 5 years ago, when I was trying to leave what I considered a controlling, narcissistic husband, I jumped into a place, even though there was mold. I told myself, I'm not a body, I am free, blah, blah, blah. But I couldn't live there, and I ended up being on the hook for a lot of money because I signed a lease ahead of time. And here I have what I consider a narcissistic, controlling landlord. And am I doing the same thing? So am I being given a lesson to be repeated? But then I get confused because I feel like, well, maybe I'm just activating the past. And I don't know the difference between this is a lesson you need to take again and do better this time, or stop, don't activate the past. And so I guess my questions are, when is a prayer answered? Like, because when then you get another roadblock, it's not flowing. Does that mean I need to go back to the drawing board? Why should I just go ahead and live in a place that seems to make me sick and keep in that space of prayer, not listen to that and plow through, even though it just like wears me down and I can't function, at least at that moment, maybe, and the other is, when do I know that this is a lesson to just be revisited, and when am I reactivating the past? Sorry, it's a lot, but
no, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Teresa. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's really a beautiful. I feel your question. It's a very heartfelt question. I think with the context of everything being mind and the idea that we are the Christ, but there's only these beliefs that are covering it over and blocking it. Who we are is who we are. There's no debating that. God knows it as a fact. Jesus knows it as a fact. And whether we want to cover it over with beliefs, then I always like to think of the world, and the dream world, as a motion picture of my unconscious belief system. So unconscious belief system, that just means I'm not even aware, perhaps, of all the beliefs that I have. And I need to be made aware of them, so that everything that seems to happen, including a landlord saying you have to move, or allergies that seem to involve, sneezing or throat tightening up and those kind of things. We could think of it that those are all just mechanisms that are helping us get a little more aware of what our belief system is. And I can tell already you're on that trail. You're in that direction. You're like, I'm gonna